Hi, Amaya. It is Monday, January 20th, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. It's also Inauguration Day. New president, new vice president, all that good stuff. Yay! New beginnings, moving forward. I hear a lot of people really apprehensive, and I feel the same way. However, we have to move forward, and it's difficult to when you're not sure what the goal is. In a patriotically celebrative way, I'd like to say congratulations, everyone. We're in a new quadrant. There's a lot of division this time, which kind of baffles me. We vote for president every 4 years. We either renew or we get a new one. I'm very confused as to the aggressive division. At this time, I have a feeling it's not incredibly organic. And I was thinking about how a lot of people are voicing the idea that they don't feel heard or they feel left out, or I don't understand. We aren't a one-way place. It's never been that. I don't understand. Maybe it's something to concentrate on, something to kind of point at or whatever, and that there's a lot of things people are upset about, and that maybe that particular subject is something that we can quite easily find people who agree with us. So it's not really an answer, though. And in 4 years, whether you're having a good time right now or not, we will choose again. And so I don't quite understand the aggression. I hear people refer to some things as though they're permanent. Nothing I've ever known has ever been permanent. Any and all presidents have gone back and forth on what one guy passed it, the other guy turned it off. One guy turned it off, the next guy turns it back on. That's why we try to help people understand our point, so that in the next cycle of asking everybody about it, of voting, we can do it again. Anyway, it's kind of that way with regular life too, and I was just wondering how much of our own idea it is to be so dang upset about something. Just so upset. I hate this person, you've never met them, or there's a lot of people we never meet and we still know enough to understand them to be good or perhaps not in our interest. But we're always celebratory of each other when we grow up and learn new things, and in other places there's no quarter. We won't hear of you changing your mind. You said this 10 years ago and that's the way it's always going to be. I guess I'm just worried. for our young people and their so aggressively permanent decisions right now about how they feel, how they're feeling about it, what they're... It's the most horrible. It's gonna be this way. It's never gonna that way. I can tell you that's not true. Even the good things have gone away. With the guy that didn't think it was a good thing, he made it go away. It seems like we go backwards when we undo those things, but only for the people who agreed. And when you don't agree, you think, finally, people see that that wasn't working. We can do it another way. I don't know. I've always thought it takes all kinds of people. Whether you like it or not is irrelevant. That wasn't your plan. That was God's plan, so to speak. He made everyone the way they should be and how that is. And we can pick on each other as people and say, oh, your way of doing whatever that is absolutely wrong. Because I know. I realize there's some dramatic versions of that, and I'm not referring to those, I suppose. But really, what do I know? I'm also just a human, and try not to do the judge thing while still trying to protect myself from those who seem to be, I guess, selfish. It's okay for people to be selfish, but having known selfish people, I can say that sometimes they can be dangerous to those around them because they're selfish. And rarely are they dangerous, but it is a possibility. I've known a couple of people with socially inappropriate attitudes. And no, I didn't ask for their certification or anything, but it would not surprise me if they were certified. And again, it's not my business, but I can be cautious about my interactions with them because, again, people are a guilty by association kind of thing. I mean, it is for self-protection to make that assessment of other people. Judgment, I guess, but we're pretty dangerous species when we're not sure if we're friendly. So it's understandable to start from precaution and then go to friendliness. We call it pessimism or whatever. It doesn't really matter because the consequences are not yours to bear. I guess what I mean is everybody has their own way of responding to something. Telling them they're wrong is weird. Accepting that they have another way of thinking, you kind of should already done that. That's pretty basic. And then you have to decide why it is that you're mad about it. And maybe it's just because it's a difficult conversation, but mad? I don't want to talk to you. Don't ever speak to me again, mad? And then when you throw around convictions like that about how mad you are, and then a couple of days later act completely normal and discuss normal things, it's weird to take your madness serious. You can't. It's hard. Not weird, it's hard to take someone's mad, I mean it, behavior. Wow, the wind is really going outside. I'll bet you can hear that. Yeah, we still have fires going on since the 7th. It is the 20th. That is exactly 2 weeks. We're on fire watch here until Friday all week. We have a red flag warning. We have more horrible 70, 80 mile an hour winds coming. They started about 10 o'clock today. Pretty gusty. Not too bad just yet. I guess I'm giving a weather report because I also, it falls in line with the creaky way my bones feel. I try to keep the weather in mind and so that I know whether or not I need to pay attention to it. Anyway, besides the point. I guess I just want to come on here and say congratulations, everybody. We're into a new thing. For those who are happy about it, hoorah, let's go. For those who aren't happy about it, let's go. Please don't unhelp, I guess. No one's after you. No one's after anyone. I think there's a big misunderstanding. No one's after me. I think when we feel left alone, we think that those things are personal. And that's where my question comes in as to, we don't even know these people we're so upset about. And what we do know, we've heard from people paid to talk about them. So what do we know? Anyway, we should talk to each other. I hope they turn that TikTok back on. It really kept people connected. I wasn't a part of it. I see it on YouTube. I know people who have it. And I hope they find a way for it to operate here in the same legalities as everything else. It's my understanding that there's some petty back and forth about who can or cannot get information. I don't know. And so I won't say much more than that. But I heard someone say that turning it off was a F you to all the Americans and we don't care about what you feel. And that's not what I get out of it. What I get out of it is that this particular issue was not resolved in time. And there's still the possibility for it to comply with how we do our stuff here. And we're not in other places. We are here and we have rules. And as much as people would like to say, well, the majority says something else, that's not how judicial proceedings go. And that's not how we do capitalism. So there will be found a way. I feel like there will. And I hope people don't lose a whole lot out of it because it was pretty connective. I'm proud of people for doing that. Especially young people. Because, true to form, young people, it's hard to get them to talk. Maybe just because they're old. I don't know. I wish there was a way to ask people to, or remind people to, maybe. I mean, it's none of my business, really, but when you feel overly mad about something that you never thought about before, or about someone that you don't even know, and that you don't even know, who gave you that idea? And something I used to tell my young ones when they brought an attitude, I'd say, oh, I don't know where you got that, but you should take it back and put it down and leave it there and then come back. Okay. And it always worked. Yeah. We're talking knee-high and shorter, though, so I don't know what to do about adults, but it is a thought. Where'd you get it from? And is it necessary? Can you put it down? Would you have thought of it on your own? Anyway, I have to share information, but understand, grain of salt, I guess. I wouldn't want people to stop sharing information because they think, oh, that's misinformation. That's that sounds like a subjective thing. Because freedom of speech is the number one thing, the first one, for probably more reasons than any of us know, as far as origins go, and conspiracy theories aside. Number one was the freedom to talk, and number two was the freedom to protect yourself from those who insisted that you can't talk. Wow, is that an oversimplification, but it's important to remember everyone's social security number is the same length, it holds the same clout, and anyone who tells you otherwise is probably trying to sell you something. So, heads up. Let's chin up. Heads up. I don't know. Heads up always sounds a little bit threatening. Chin up. Let's move forward and see what we're gonna do. And I mean that on a personal level for us as well, for myself, but also for everybody else. A lot of finger pointing, and I remember being told when I was a kid that was rude, so be careful who you're being rude for, I guess. Make sure it's something you really mean for yourself. Anyway, yeah, that's kind of all the day has been about. I hope that the new incoming administration is able to shed some light on some things, including MLK. And although I'm sure hardly any of us will be surprised at what those papers say, the purpose is the 50 years is up. I don't even know why they get to hide those things for that long. Start the givens, the basics. Maybe they need to be fixed. Anyway, not tonight. Tonight's Monday, so tomorrow's Tuesday. Have a great day and a good night. And yeah, all hail Old Glory. Have a good night.